Hello seekers, welcome to Punneit Astrology, your one-stop astro channel. Buddha, Mercury, the planet of information, the planet of messaging, which is retrograde right now in the sign of Virgo, will become direct on 2nd of October, and until 26th of October, this planet will be direct in the Virgo zodiac sign, and Mercury will enjoy its true exaltation, its true Mula Trikona energies in this zodiac sign during this movement. But if you observe what is happening in and around this Mercury transit, something is very strange. And what is that? Well, this Buddha will experience a lot of planetary shift while its journey in Virgo. First of all, the most of the energies of Mercury will be consumed in lifting Venus out of debilitation, causing a Neech Bhanga of Shukra. On the other hand, this Buddha will also experience a Ketu Nakshatra Parivartan. Nakshatra of the Ketu will shift, and this is for the mean Ketu, not the true node. The Nakshatra of Ketu will shift from Vishakha to Swati Nakshatra on 18th of October. Not only that, this is also the time around which Venus will make its move in the sign of Libra. So Venus will also move out of Virgo zodiac sign and will shift to Libra zodiac sign. Then in the middle of October, Sun will also shift from Virgo to Libra. Then if you observe, one day before Mercury is supposed to move to Libra zodiac sign, one day, 26th is the transit date for Buddha. On 25th, there is a solar eclipse, partial solar eclipse in Libra zodiac sign. And also, Buddha will also see Saturn, which is 5th from this Buddha, from the Mercury, finishing the retrogradation, becoming slow, and then going direct, just before Buddha is about to cross over to the Virgo, to the Libra zodiac sign. Mars will also move out of Taurus, that means out of the 9th house from this Mercury, to the 10th house of Mercury in the zodiac sign of Mercury, which is Gemini. And if you see, apart from Jupiter, which is aspecting this Buddha, and apart from Rahu, almost every other planet is going to shift either zodiac or a nakshatra. So definitely this is a high amount of dynamic energy, and Buddha, which is the ruler of consciousness, brain, is going to observe all this. So definitely if you are observing this, you are observing chaos, you are observing shift of planetary energy, and that shift will alter your thought process. Especially if your Buddha is the Mahadasha Lord, you will be experiencing these major shift in energy, and this will be very prominent. If your Buddha is in the 1, 4, 7 and 10, then at least one area of life will be heavily impacted. If you are born as a Virgo moon sign and a Virgo ascendant, you will feel the maximum impact. If you're born in Buddha Nakshatra, you will feel the change, you will feel the heat of this. So definitely, Buddha, which is the ruler of Gemini and Virgo, the 3rd and the 6th house of the Kalpurush, talks about constant struggle, constant effort, movement. It talks about your resilience. It talks about your capacity to hold the information and capacity to understand the information. Imagine somebody talks to you in a language that you don't understand. What will you do with that information? That information is useless until it's translated. Similarly, what is happening around Buddha has to be translated back in your life. And then it means that from 2nd of October till 26th of October, although Buddha is going to give you a lot of positive advantage, you will have to be very, very careful. Now, considering that Rahu and Ketu are influencing Venus indirectly, a cancellation of debilitation of Venus is actually very good for you. It can mark new beginnings. It can mark the beginning of new trade, a new business, a new idea, a new opportunity, especially from the perspective of career. If you are fond of animals and birds, and if you give your love towards them, if If you become close to nature, this is going to be extremely beneficial for you. This will cut down the prarabdha karma, cut down the loans, and you will see that the debts will reduce. Although you will not be comfortable, maybe you are forced to pay off your debts during this time, but this is for your greater good. So you will have to swallow some of the bitter events in your life, and you will have to live with it because it is for the greater good. And when you're talking about the greater good, you're also talking about about humanity, about the planet, about geopolitical system around the world. So definitely this Budh is facing one of the most crucial moments in life, where this Budh, which is going to impact your consciousness through the information that you will receive, will also be affected by so many tidal forces around them that you will find it difficult to understand which force is the one that is influencing your decision, and you won't even realize that you have made a decision, and after you see the result, you get to know that you were actually influenced by somebody or something or some information which you should have initially avoided. Which means does not matter what decision of life you want to take. You have to be very, very clear in your communication. You have to be very clear in your paperwork, documentation. You have to be very strong in your opinion and in your stand towards life. And you will have to take every step with thorough calculation and also considering your sacrifices involved. Because if you will think that everything is going to be smooth just because Budh is exalted, then it's not the case. Never ever consider a planetary transit based on that planet alone. Otherwise, every time Budh will go in Virgo, it should ideally give same result, right? But it doesn't. Yes, it has the flavor of exaltation. It will hold the power. It will give you that profit. It will bring initiatives into the world. You will see a lot of startups, your dreams coming true, things moving in the right direction, and one that is stuck will come out of that stuck situation, and you will be able to move your wheel of life in the forward motion. But then what about the eclipse? What about slowing down of Saturn and then Saturn going in the retro station? What about Sun transit and Sun meeting Ketu? What about, and the most important in fact, Ketu entering Swati Nakshatra? Because this Ketu which enters into Swati Nakshatra will be second from the Budh. Now for Budh to execute anything, second house is called the resource of that house. So if Budh has to enjoy the power in the sign of Virgo, it will consume the resources available in the sign of Libra. Yes, when Venus will make its move in the sign of Libra, Mercury will gain some strength, but understand, Ketu in Swati also means innovative thinking. Maybe it will give you new ways to communicate, new ways to change your diet plan. A lot of people influenced by Mercury in their life might experience health issues, immune response problem, skin related issue, and because of that they may be forced to change their diet, correct their diet. You cannot ignore the influence of retrograde Jupiter, which is right in front of Budh. And this retrograde Jupiter is what this consciousness is looking up to. Although Jupiter is in the zodiac sign of debilitation of Mercury, which means on one hand Budh is exalt, knowledge is power, information is all there. But when you process that information, you realize that, oh, this is not going to work out. So that may kill your enthusiasm. That may kill the chance or the imagination that it will work. Now that is where the continuous effort is needed. If you stop because information says it is not possible, then you have to validate the information before you actually take that decision. And yes, repeated efforts will be a part and parcel of this Budh transit. Yes, it is positive, it will make you work, it will give you fruitful result, but will also confuse you. So you will have to keep your eyes and ears open. Any red flags cannot be avoided, especially in matters of personal life and relationships. Especially couples who are facing marital issues, who are under the situation of separation or divorce. This Budh, along with, remember, you cannot forget that Venus is also combust. That means any disadvantage of Venus will not even be in the sight. That means some information is missing in this jigsaw puzzle. So Budh, in spite of its exaltation, may take a wrong decision by wrong calculation. So do not omit the angle of Venus. Which means if you're taking a decision related to your business, related to your finances, related to your career, you must, I'm not saying you should, you must involve or at least consider your family before taking that decision, because that will impact your family in the future. And when you involve your family or at least take them into consideration is how you cancel the debilitation of Venus, because you're considering it, now you're also protecting their interest. It's a complicated process, but then life is not simple. Life is a bed of complicated roses. And this Budh gives you that power to understand the matrix and then maybe find a way out. That's the power of exalted Buddha along with debilitated Venus. It can give you more opportunities, especially if you're a trader, if you want to open a workshop, if you want to open a shop, if you want to take commercial loans. This is a good time to do all those activities. But again, do it with double verification, maybe consulting your business partner with CA, and all that activity has to be done. Otherwise, one wrong move, and the moment Saturn becomes direct, the chain of reaction will be such that for the next 6 months it will make you run, because now the eclipse is also happening in the Ketu and Rahu axis in Libra and Aries, and Mars is also indirectly influencing Gemini, which is indirectly influencing Mercury. So the planetary web is such that each planet is influencing each other directly or indirectly in a very strong manner. And Jupiter, on the other hand, is trying its best to protect you from all odds. But Jupiter retrogression also means that wisdom will come from non-conventional sources. You might have to listen to a advice of a 7-year-old child, because maybe out of innocence he says something and that somehow makes sense. This is the way that is unconventional, and you may get advice from people whom you thought have no idea or are incapable. So never underestimate your enemy also during this time, especially if you are involved into media industry. Stay away from any controversy. Image can be distorted, especially because, see, the sun is in Virgo, then sun will be with Ketu, and then there is an eclipse, then sun will be in Scorpio. So image can be tarnished during this time. This is the time to re-innovate and reinvent whenever and wherever possible in whatever area of life. Career and marriage are the two areas which will be affected the most. And apart from that, people aspiring for competitive examination will see that something is moving in the right direction. They will gain confidence. On the other hand, people involved in politics will see challenges. People involved into export and import and trading will see that deadlocks are now coming to a solution, and then things are now moving in the right direction. But financially, I will say this is not a very great time. You can see market fluctuating like anything during this time. So when you are going to invest, especially in risky investing instruments, do it with complete cognizance that what if the entire money is lost? What will you do then? Risk should be mitigated and avoided at all cost when Mercury is direct. See, your target should be to use the energy as much as you can and not completely rely on it and not completely depend on it. Rather, use it as much as it can be made available to you, because this is a generic video. Lot will depend on your horoscope, how your Mercury is placed, because if your Venus is really bad in your chart, then 95% of the Mercurian energy will go into lifting the Venusian areas of your life. So you will see that in your horoscope, Libra and Taurus is experiencing a growth, whereas Gemini and Virgo is experiencing a depletion of energy. It's a redirection of energy. So that will also depend on your horoscope. And if you have a Ketu and Mercury combination in your birth chart, then you should be very careful before making any such investment, buying a property, doing a contractual deal. All that thing should be done carefully. Otherwise, it's a very good time for mathematicians, scientists, professors, engineers, artists, creative professionals, because this is the time when you can leave the old ways of work and start a new style, a new way. And you can reinvent your social media, you can reinvent your identity during this time. It can trigger, because this is going to affect your consciousness, and you may not react now, but you will see that within next 4 to 5 months, you will see this recreation happening in one way or other in your life. So that was the Mercury transit in the sign of Virgo. I hope you like this video, and you can watch the extended version of this video on my Patreon channel. The link is in the description box below. We'll meet you in the next video. Thank you for watching this video till now. For consultations, you can drop me an email. We'll meet you in the next video. Till then, this is your host Punneit. Namaste.